She was in her Santa Claus years, so we were always back there. So you always knew Claire would be there for Christmas. It was, you know, she thought family was important, and that's what she did. She didn't complain much. I mean, she, Christmas Eve, I remember sleeping on a couch in a sleeping bag. She slept in a trailer with Susan and I at Susan's sister's place, and also in a hotel the night before, for Christmas Eve, so we could get up early and be there for when Santa Claus got there. So I could always count on her for doing that. As with most siblings, we had our challenges and disagreements. Early on, it was something as simple as, hey, son, where are you going, buddy? Early on, it was, a little thing like we shared a car when we were teenagers. And the great contest was to deliver the car back home so the other person wouldn't have any gas in it. So the best thing was to pull up in front of the house and have that gas gauge pretty solidly on empty. We did carry a gallon of gas around in the trunk just in case somebody won the contest. And I think I finally did win when Claire got in the car one time and drove away. I made it about 300 yards before she was out of gas. So she's out there, with the gas. And I'm back there going, yes. Claire was really organized, somewhat of a perfectionist. In the last month at her house, we've found all sorts of stuff going through, like you do. We found report cards from her school in England, high school, college in Whitman, Illinois State, and then some coursework she did down here at ASU. And we found, diaries like this one, a couple of those, lots and lots of pictures. She had them all in books. So now we're going to have to go through all those things, which is a trip down memory lane for us. We found a lot of music. Susan and I have been there several days, and we're all up to speed on the Carpenters and the Beach Boys. So, like I said, it's been a trip down memory lane. Sometimes difficult, but necessary, and I'll always be happy that I was able to do that. We had a lot of good times with outdoor sports, mainly around skiing, golf, tennis, a little bit of flying. So I think the last time I went skiing with her was not that long ago, 3-4 years maybe. She drove up from Phoenix, spent the night, and we went up to Flagstaff and skied the next day. She was a great skier. Fluid motion, she was really good. Golf, we both came to that sort of late in life. I wish it had happened a lot earlier, but Claire was evidently pretty good, because one of the pictures in her house has a medal hanging off of it where she got a hole-in-one on number 16. I don't know what course that was. And this was in 1996. She was pretty proud of that. The other thing about golf I remember is we were on a family trip to Cabo, Susan, Jenny, and I, and Claire was with us, and Claire and I decided we wanted to play golf, but we didn't want to pay the exorbitant rates that they were, charging for the seaside courses and all that stuff. So we decided it would be a good idea to undergo a timeshare presentation, so we could get a free round of golf. So, but when we got there, we explained to the gentleman that was going to take us around and show us everything. That's what we were doing, and he was semi-okay with that. But so, we got to see the condos and all that stuff. Went in and had our flute of champagne and lunch, and he's just getting down into the heavy pushing you to make a sale. And Claire and I looked at each other and went, we got a tea time here in 15 minutes. So the guy sort of went, okay. Anyway, we laughed about that a lot too. So with my dad and I being pilots, Claire always had a desire to do that. So she got her pilot's license and trained in Chandler down here and got her license in 1993. And her goal was to fly up to Prescott and take me for a ride. So one day she shows up with Nancy and they land. Nancy gets out, I get in, and we fly around for a while and come back. And I don't know if we had lunch or if you guys just flew back, but anyway, she accomplished her goal. She didn't fly a lot after that, but she, by God, she did what she wanted to. Not the kind of thing that you really think about, but if I had thought about it, I would have thought that Claire had another good 15 to 20 years in her. I mean, she was healthy up until a few months ago. But that was not to be. We all have our time to go, and this was hers. I'm just grateful she passed away peacefully, in her sleep, no pain, and she's gone. We'll miss her. So, for all you Prescott people that came down, and all you people that came from California and other places, thank you so much for coming here to honor my sister and to say goodbye. I have to say a couple words about Nancy. She and I are Claire named us the co-executors of her will. And Nancy has just been amazing. She's a whirlwind. And like this whole thing is her, and she's just been, we continue to work together and will for a while till it's all done, but it's really good.
Thank you.
And also my wife. Excuse me. I knew this was going to happen. She's been by my side through this whole thing, and I really appreciate her. And she's gotten the double whammy because her dad passed away just 3 weeks prior to Claire, so it hasn't been easy on her. I mentioned before that Claire had an affinity for things British. And going through her stuff, we found a Parade magazine, that you get in the Sunday supplement. And it was all about Princess Diana and her demise and all that stuff. And she had handwritten this piece of paper that we found in there. It was a couple of poems that were read at Princess Diana's funeral. So I'd just like to share one of those with you. Time is too slow for those who wait, too swift for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, and too short for those who rejoice. But for those who love, time is an eternity. Thank you.
Wow. Toby, beautiful, beautiful. Every minute of it was beautiful. And we didn't know those things about Claire, and we're glad we know them now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Nancy Stevens, as you know, retired from the business school at ASU a few years ago. And while she was a professor there, she had a German student named Carola, who lives right near Cologne in the Rhineland of Germany, which is the west part of Germany. And they became friends while Nancy was her professor, and that friendship has lasted for how many years?
25.
25 years. And they go back and forth. Carola comes to the U.S. twice a year, and you go to Germany. Do you go twice a year?
No.
No. In any event, Carola is ill right now. So she sent a video, and we're going to watch that video.
The sound is.
Oh, the sound. The sound is very faint, and hopefully it's loud enough that we can all hear it. But please just strain if you need to hear what Carola has to say. It's a lovely, lovely message.